Can Canada survive without the United States? President Donald Trump recently claimed that Canada needs America to survive, arguing that without the United States, Canada's economy would be unable to function. His comments followed Washington's announcement of new 50% tariffs on several Canadian products, intensifying an already serious trade dispute between the two countries. The short answer is yes. Canada could survive as an independent country without the United States, but the economic cost would be enormous. Canada possesses vast reserves of oil, natural gas, minerals, timber, fresh water, and agricultural land. It also has a highly educated population, stable institutions, and access to the Atlantic, Pacific, and Arctic Oceans. However, survival is very different from maintaining Canada's current standard of living. For generations, the Canadian and American economies have operated as one deeply connected continental system. Canadian factories rely on American machinery, technology, and specialized components. A vehicle assembled in Ontario may contain parts that cross the border several times. Canadian oil travels through pipelines built mainly to serve American refineries, while Canadian hospitals, construction companies, and food producers frequently depend on supplies imported from the United States. Canada's vulnerability comes from the concentration of its trade. In 2025, approximately 71.7% of Canadian merchandise exports went to the United States. A sudden break would reduce exports, weaken business investment, and threaten jobs in trade-dependent communities. Imported machinery, medicine, technology, and consumer products could also become more expensive. But this relationship is not one-sided. Canada supplies nearly two-thirds of the crude oil imported by the United States, almost all of its imported natural gas, and more than 80% of its imported electricity. American refineries, northern states, and major manufacturers depend heavily on Canadian energy, aluminum, lumber, uranium, potash, and critical minerals. The United States could survive without Canada, but it would also experience higher costs and serious supply disruptions. Canada's goal should not be to eliminate trade with the United States. Geography makes America Canada's most natural and valuable trading partner. Instead, Canada must reduce the risk of depending too heavily on a single market. That means removing barriers between provinces, expanding ports and railways, building new energy corridors, and developing stronger commercial relationships with Europe, India, Asia, and other global markets. Canada must also increase its domestic capacity in advanced manufacturing, pharmaceuticals, artificial intelligence, semiconductors, defense equipment, and clean technology. Complete self-sufficiency would be unrealistic, but Canada needs reliable domestic or allied sources for essential goods during a trade dispute, pandemic, or security crisis. Canada can survive without the United States. It would be difficult, costly, and disruptive, particularly during the early years. But survival is the wrong standard. The real question is whether Canada can become strong enough to cooperate with the United States by choice rather than through economic dependence. Trump's statement contains an element of economic truth, but it ignores how much the United States also depends on Canada. The strongest relationship between neighbors is not based on threats or fear. It is one in which both countries recognize that they are more prosperous and more secure when they treat each other with respect. For more Canadian news and analysis, visit weeklyvoice.com and follow Voice News Network.